This is the best football show. And I am Brian Baldinger. I'm here almost daily with you at Baldy NFL. You can find me on all the social media platforms from X to YouTube to Instagram, TikTok. This Odyssey app, you can download for free. Okay, and you can watch this, subscribe to it, like it, all that kind of good stuff. It's playoff football. And I'll never forget, honestly, playoff football, I started my career in the early 80s with the Dallas Cowboys. And I'll never forget my rookie year. Our first round playoff game was against the Tampa Bay Bucs at Texas Stadium. And my rookie good friend, Monty Hunter, intercepted a pass for a touchdown that won the game for us. And he was a big game hunter from then on. But anyways, like playoff football is just different. It feels different. It's played with more urgency. There's just more intensity. We know it's sudden death. We understand that your season can end at any moment. And so that's the fun. And here we are. We're at playoff football. It took us 18 weeks to get here. It started with Baltimore, Kansas City. I was at the second game in Sao Paulo, Brazil on Friday night, September 6th, to see Green Bay and Philadelphia go at it. And that's how it kicked off, and here we are. We've got 14 teams standing, two teams, both Detroit and Kansas City, 15-2 and 16-1, or 15-2, two 15-2 teams, respectively, with the number one seeds. They will sit this out. So I'm going to break down three games here today. I'll break down the other three games tomorrow for you. So let's just start. Saturday afternoon, 4:30, the Chargers and the Houston Texans. And I don't feel like the Houston Texans, even though they won one more game than I think they did a year ago, I don't feel like – and I saw Houston this summer. They played in the Hall of Fame game in Canton, Ohio. They stayed in Cleveland, and they got ready for their first preseason game against Pittsburgh. I saw them at the University School in Cleveland. I was around the team, and honestly, I left being around that team this summer impressed. I thought this was a Final Four team. I thought with Diggs – to go with Nico Collins, to go with Joe Mixon, to go with, all of the stars that they had defensively, Danielle Hunter, the additions, Danico Autry. I thought this was a Final Four team. They don't look like that now. They haven't played like that, in large part because I don't think the offensive line has played very well. I know Laramie Tunsil made the Pro Bowl, and I'm a Laramie Tunsil fan. I've done a lot of breakdowns on him. I don't think he's had a Pro Bowl season. I think he might be the most penalized offensive lineman in the league right now, or at least at a certain point this season he was. They commit too many penalties, make too many mistakes. And look, they've lost their number 2, Tank Dell, and their number 4 receiver, Stephon Diggs, for the year. You lost your 2 and 4 receiver. So you got Nico, you got a tight end. I mean, nothing against John Mechie or Robert Woods. They're NFL players. They're not Stephon Diggs or Tank Dell. And I just feel like CJ isn't having the season that he had a year ago, in part because the line hasn't played great. He's lost these guys he's counted on. You saw the emotional response when he lost Tank Dell with that shattered leg a couple weeks ago. I mean, it was crushing to see him work that hard to come back from a major injury a year ago. But if you look at this matchup here, the strength of this defense is the play of their defensive ends. Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter. I think they have like 23 or so sacks between the two of them. Derek Barnett. I just think that goes up against the strength of this Chargers offense. When you look at Joe Alt, who started at left tackle for Rashawn Slater last week, and Slater just sitting out after he made the Pro Bowl, and rightfully so. But those bookend tackles, both high first-round draft picks, are elite players. And part of their eliteness is Justin Herbert is playing great. He had his longest run of his career last week, 47 yards. He's running more. He's encouraged to run more. He's turned the ball over the fewest amount of times than any quarterback. They take care of the football. Houston doesn't. I feel like the Chargers are in a better place. I saw the Chargers a month ago against Tampa get run out of SoFi Stadium. They gave up a 40-burger that day, and they didn't play well. And Tampa ran for 223 yards against them. I feel like if Houston is going to win this game at home, it's got to be a Joe Mixon game. I saw Joe Mixon week 1 against the Colts. He had 30 carries that day. Like, he is a workhorse. And I feel like this is a game where Joe Mixon has got to do kind of like what Bucky Irvin and Rachaad White and some of those guys did against the Chargers a couple weeks ago. Now, since that loss, the Chargers are going on a 3-game win streak, and they've played much better football, and they're scoring a lot of points, in part because they've gotten healthy. J.K. Dobbins is back in the lineup. Will Dissly is back in the lineup. You know, I feel like they've gotten healthy, and then the quarterback has continued to flourish. So I feel like the Chargers are going to win this game. They just look more solid to me. They tackle better than they ever have. I think Derwin James will be up near the line of scrimmage where he does his best work, him and Deion Henley, who really just emerged this year with a chance to really start. Last year was a rookie at Washington State. He didn't get a chance to play much. It's probably a mistake by the former regime. He's an excellent player. Never comes off the field. Leads the team in tackles by a wide margin. But I feel like they have the defense to slow down Houston right now. Nico Collins, obviously, is their big play threat. Maybe they have to live and die by the big play. He certainly has had that influx and that sort of influence in that offense. So I like the Chargers. Let's go to Pittsburgh and Baltimore on Saturday night. Pittsburgh losers of 4 straight. The Ravens winners of 4 straight. You go back to week 11, those two teams played. And I was there in week 11 when Pittsburgh beat Baltimore. They beat them 18-16 that day. Low-scoring game. They took the ball away 3 times from the Ravens. I think the opening drive, Nick Herbig came off the edge and got the ball out of Derrick Henry's hands. Maybe Deshaun Elliott recovered it, if I remember correctly. But they won that game 18-16. And they had the 3 takeaways. And it was a check-down game, and that's kind of what Russell Wilson is right now. He's a check-down quarterback. Maybe they get a big play to George Pickens. They kind of thrive on that. They have had Lamar Jackson's number, no question about it. But Lamar, to me, is the MVP of this league, and he's got to play like that, starting in the playoffs and starting Saturday night. He knows it. Does that mean he puts more pressure on himself? I wouldn't do that if I was him. I would just keep playing. I mean, he sees the field great. He's thrown 17 touchdown passes to his 2 tight ends, Mark Andrews and Isaiah Lakely. Those guys in the middle of the field are beasts. They're both big. They both run really well. They both uncover well when things, aren't on script. They both uncover when Lamar starts moving out of the pocket. I feel like Derrick Henry is there for a reason, to get Baltimore over the hump. When he signed in Baltimore, I said, this is the perfect fit. He had almost 2,000 yards rushing. Like, this is going to be a tough challenge for Pittsburgh, really tough challenge. They're going to need their TJ Watt and their Nick Herbig and, Patrick Queen, Minka. Like, they're going to need their stars to play like stars. The thing that has changed in Baltimore, the offense has been there. They got the offensive line solidified. The running game took over. Lamar got the ball down the field. He's improved his pass game. I don't know the status of Zay Flowers right now. I think Rashad Bateman and the guys can pick it up, if they have to. But I think there's plenty to throw to for this Baltimore Raven team right now. I like the Ravens to win their 5th in a row. I just don't see this offense in Pittsburgh going into Baltimore and winning this game. I mean, they're just not dynamic enough. They don't do enough. They're not very creative. They don't. I mean, every once in a while they'll get an explosive play from Pickens, but they don't get enough of them. And Russell, trying to be a pocket quarterback, it's not his thing. He likes to move around and extend plays and get out of the pocket. And, Baltimore, 2nd in the league this year in sacks. 1st in the league last year, 2nd this year. And I got to tell you, the Ravens did something last year that no other team has done. They hired a pass rush specialist coach, Chuck Smith. Chuck Smith, former pass rusher in this league, very good player. Started a pass rush academy in Atlanta. Trained a lot of good players over the years. Taught them, everything from the cross chop to the spin. I mean, but the thing about Chuck is he trains every defensive player. It could be Kyle Hamilton. Whoever rushes the quarterback, he trains them on how to get on the edge, not to get deeper in the quarterback, just certain fundamentals, how to turn the corner, how to drop the shoulder, drop your weight. He's just – and you're looking at Odafe Owe, Matabike, Travis Jones. Like, these guys have all improved. Obviously, Van Noy is having another monster season. But I feel like Baltimore's pass rush is going to be a problem for Pittsburgh. I think it's going to be a problem for Dan Moore, Broderick Jones. I think it's going to be an issue. So we'll see what happens. And then when we get to Sunday night, Washington and Tampa, I'm excited about this game, really excited. I mean, Baker Mayfield did something that only 9 other quarterbacks in the history of the game have done. He's thrown for over 40 touchdowns and over 4,500 yards. Joe Burrow did that again. They did that this year. But, I mean, it is select company now. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady, like Drew Brees. It's select. I think Marino did it one year. I mean, it's select company. But regardless, I mean, we got 2 great quarterbacks on the field, Baker and Jaden Daniels. And I went back and watched week 1. Week 1, the Bucs won the game 37-20. They blitzed Jaden Daniels literally almost every single drop back. Now, in the game, he ran 16 times. Many of them were to beat the blitz. Like, he saw the guys coming, he got out of the way. But even when the score was 37-14 in favor of Tampa, with 2 minutes to go in the game, Todd Bowles just kept sending him. And so Jaden knows it's coming. Cliff Kingsbury knows it's coming. Dan Quinn knows it's coming. Tyler Biadasz, the center, knows it's coming. Andrew Wiley, the right tackle, knows it's coming. Brian Robinson Jr. knows it's coming. You can know it's coming. You might not know where it's coming from, and you might not know when it's coming, but it's coming. Todd Bowles, if he feels like you're struggling against it, whether it's protection, whether it's the routes to adjust, whether there's an answer to the blitz, if he thinks you're short in some of those areas, he's relentless. So it's just something to watch when you study this game on Sunday night. I like Tampa in the game, but I give Washington a fighter's chance for sure. First of all, Cliff Kingsbury is very creative in all phases of the offense. Jaden Daniels has made very few mistakes this year. Since week 1, we have seen Terry McLaurin just emerge and explode. Set a franchise record with 13 touchdown catches. The final one, the 13th, beat the Cowboys on Sunday afternoon with no time left on the clock. Final 6 seconds. Caught his 13th touchdown pass from Marcus Mariota. But I feel like Mike Evans is going to be a problem, not just because he just got his 11th straight year of 1,000, but Jalen McMillan, Evans, Bucky Irvin, the rookie class is outstanding for Tampa. I saw Tampa back on July 30th. Remember going into practice on a golf cart with Todd Bowles, riding in with him together, just cutting it up. They had an indoor practice at night, and we were covering it for the NFL Network. So, we were riding in. He was just kind of giving me the game plan for the day. And I just, I've known Todd a long time. And I just told him, I've known him when he was the head coach of the Jets and the defense coordinator in Philadelphia, in different spots with Bill Parcells in Dallas, whatever. And I felt like for the first time in his whole career, he's got coaching stability. I thought he's going to have a good team. I thought they had really good young players. I didn't know the rookie class would be Jalen McMillan, Bucky Irvin scoring 16 touchdowns this year, Graham Barton being basically right at a Pro Bowl level at center. Or Liam Cohen would have the influence he's had on this offense, where they've gone from the 32nd ranked rushing attack in football the last 2 years to the number 4 rushing attack this year. Like Liam Cohen, to me, is a prime prospect to be a head coach next year. His offense is brilliant. So anyways, I like Tampa in that game Sunday night. I'm going to break down the other 3 games tomorrow. Thanks for joining me. It's playoff season, playoff football. Nothing better. We got championship games, Penn State, Notre Dame. We've got Ohio State and in Texas. I've got the Hula Bowl on Saturday. It is all football all the time, and I'm here to talk about it. And I look forward to talking to you tomorrow, everybody. Thanks for joining me on the Best Football Show.